chapter number 22. I will say, looking at the last chapter, this chapter, and the next chapter, it's it's one of those parts of the Bible that it's like, what in the world can I get out of this, and try to apply it to my life somehow. And really what I think is going on here is simply personal responsibility. That is a thing that is lacking today. Have you ever worked with somebody and you say, somebody will say, who did this? And the person that did it, they're like, they just kind of back away, and it's like, I watched you do it. They're not responsible. It's like, if you've done something wrong, just say it. I mean, it is what it is now. But as you look at this, listen, there's going to be, I'm not trying to talk about the Bible in any way, shape, or form, but there's parts of the text that are more interesting than other parts of the text, okay? That people are just going to, I don't think I've ever heard anybody give a big hoorah to go through Leviticus, okay? Not many people do. They're like, how does this apply to me today? And right? Somebody just was like, hey, I want to go through Leviticus. Not many people. Yeah, I went through it once. But so some people like Brother John, he's really good with history. And not saying he's not good with any other part of the Bible, but he's really, like, if you want to know about kings and stuff that happened in David's life, I asked Brother John. I would. But if you want to know about, I don't know, anything else, there's certain people that gravitate to certain things. Okay, some preachers and some teachers are really good with prophecy. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then you find people like me that's just kind of like, let's just take this as it is and we'll go through it. Look at chapter number 22. It says this, and notice this, as you go through these things, you will not see the word jail mentioned one time. Not one time. It says there in verse number 1, if a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. So what is God saying? He's saying, hey, for starters, we're not going to run this welfare program of just putting people in buildings and saying you just get 3 hots and a cot and you get to watch TV whenever you want to, and that's your punishment. And now, I will say, court systems, they will go and they'll say, you need to restore to this person. But how often does that actually happen? Probably not that often at all. Because generally, how is somebody going to restore somebody money if they can't make any by being in jail? It's tough, right? But the thing about it is this is good teaching for young people. Because it's going to get into borrowing something off of somebody. Hey, and when you borrow something, it is now your responsibility. Treat it as if it's somebody else's. Because if we treat it like it's ours, especially if it's a car that's got 900 horsepower, if we treat it like it's ours, right, we're going to tear the rear end out of it. But there's also a part that talks about if you rent something from somebody. and the person is there. It can be their responsibility. But he says there, if a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, so maybe he's going to kill it for food, or maybe he's going to kill it to sacrifice it. We don't really know. Or he's going to sell it to somebody to make money off of it. It's a pretty common thing nowadays because tools are expensive, that people will steal tools. And then they'll take them to the pawn shops and they'll sell them. Putting it more in today's perspective, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up or breaking into a house or a barn or whatever, and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. So, okay, here's the deal. The consequence is, this guy has come in, he's broke in to steal whatever, maybe he knows what's in the house, maybe he doesn't, but the guy comes in. Now, this is in the context of verses 2, 3, and I think 4, in verse 4, the first verse is in the context of darkness, okay? So we have to get back in their time, especially in Exodus, no street lights, no porch lights. You would have some lanterns or some torches or something hanging on the wall. Maybe a fire is burning. You don't have much light, okay? We're talking about out in the wilderness. But this is something that they're going to live off of. This law is going to be practiced for little things. These are little in our eyes, but if it was to happen to you, it would be a big deal. If it was to happen to me, it'd be a big deal. Somebody steal. Who likes a thief? Nobody, right? Not even thieves. Thieves don't even like being stolen from. But he says, if there's a thief that be found broken up or breaking into the house and be smitten that he dies. So if somebody just absolutely pummels this guy, and you don't know what the deal is. Like, is this guy coming in to kill my family? Is he coming in to steal from me? We don't really know. But he says, if he be found breaking up and be smitten that he died, there shall no blood be shed for him. This guy's innocent. That beat him to death, or they hit him in just the right spot, and there's no blood to be shed for that. Yeah. And until you stand your ground, and then it's like, well, I don't know. Are they going to be in trouble? Or I asked a cop one time. I won't say who it was. It wasn't Larry, but I asked a cop one time. I said, so let me ask you a question. If somebody is to come and knock on the door and is starting to show aggression and starting to say, hey, come out here in the yard. He said, whatever you do, make sure you kill them and bring them in the house. And I was like, of course, there was we didn't have cell phones at that time when he told me that, so nobody was listening. But he said, literally, he said, shoot them, drag them in the house. He said, and whatever you do, make sure you kill them. That way we don't have two sides of the story. And I was like, that's okay. That's kind of crazy. Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, what's he going to say? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Hey, how big of a stick? Like wrist or the?
It's like, I'm telling you, Steve.
Yeah, because if we get information like that, we're like, well, what if, and yada, yada, yada. But we were having a problem with the guy that lived behind us. That's why I asked him. And when he told me that, I was like, I'm not going to go that far with it. I'm not. That's just, the guy's not like literally coming down here. He did to my brother, but not to me. But either way, the guy's innocent. That literally beat the guy to death or hit him and with a shovel or whatever, and the guy died. The guy that did it is innocent, and the other guy goes in the grave. So there you go. Verse 3: If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. So if the guy, if it happens in broad daylight, you have the opportunity to say, okay, I know what's going on. I'm not going to beat this guy to death. I have the means to figure out what's going on in the situation, and I can get out of the house safely, or I can get, whatever. I can get the neighbor to help me. But if I go ahead and I kill the guy, because listen, and here's the thing, he's in your home. Right? Or he or she or whoever, just a thief is in your home. People don't take too kindly to that. We tried to stop them with the no trespassing sign, and officer, it didn't work. Well, did you run it in the newspaper? No. But so if the sun's up and you're able to see what is going on, you are going to have to make full restitution for this. So what is going on here? What is going on? Listen, even God puts mercy in His law for the guilty. Ain't that amazing? To me, that's like, why would He do that? Well, I don't know. Why did He send His Son to die for us? We were all guilty. Standing before Him, we were guilty as sin. And He still sent His Son to die for us. But if he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. So if you catch him with what he's trying to steal and you don't beat him to death, but you catch him, okay, if he's caught, okay, now he has to restore double. So here's the thing, restitution is the goal. Restitution is the goal. Murder's not the goal. Handing out, guilty, go to jail, So here's the thing. In our modern day system in America, nobody wins. Okay, nobody wins. The taxpayers, they don't win because they're having to keep this yokel up for committing crimes. And the person in jail don't win. Hey, he didn't probably learn anything out of this. It didn't cost him nothing. Hey, I'm getting a free meal and free TV, free shower whenever I want it. And he's not learning anything. And nobody wins because the person that owned it probably more so lost it if it got killed or sold or whatever and it wasn't recovered. So nobody wins in that situation. But in the situation of restitution, listen, everybody wins. Taxpayers, they don't have to pay to keep them up. The guy that stole, he learned a valuable lesson. The law told me this is what's going to happen, and that's what happened. Yeah. And the guy that was stole from, he's now gained another. I wonder if people were sitting there like, man, I sure wish somebody come by and steal from me today. We are so Americanized where everything is, if you do that, you're going to go to jail. Most of these guys are like, I don't care. I've been there 10 times. What's it matter? Right? And in this, they're like, well, here's the thing, I could get killed. Now, I think that passes through some of them's head these days, because everybody has a gun in their house, at least, in Pulaski County, Kentucky. Maybe not so New York or California, but, you look at this guy's like, okay, I've got some things that I need to think about here. This is what the law says. This is what the judgments are for my actions. I'm personally responsible, because there's this stupidity that's being passed out by these court systems nowadays. Oh, bless his heart. He's done this 17 times. Let's just let him go. There's no personal responsibility anymore. It's, why would they stop stealing? Right? I mean, judge ain't going to do nothing about it. In this day and age, this time, hey, this is God's judgments. This is God's law, and it's being handed down by some judges that were handpicked for a few different things. Hey, they clung to God's word, and they were not covetous people. Remember, Jethro set that up before he ever left. And he's like, Moses, you're going to kill yourself. Listen, here's what you need to do. Set some people apart out of Israel and say, hey, we have confidence in you that you will carry out these judgments. And so, back in the Old Testament, don't steal. Don't steal. And if you do steal, don't get caught, okay? That's not everybody's going to get caught, but, it would kind of be tough to steal somebody's ox. Have you ever watched the Andy Griffith episode where they put the boots on the cow? Yeah. and listen, they weren't doing that back in this day. I mean, that guy was walking them cows out of the barn with boots on, and they sent this big detective down there, and he come from, I think, Raleigh or something, and Raleigh was the heyday for back in that time. But he's like, yeah, this guy right here, he probably weighs about this much, and this guy right here weighs about this much, and Barney's like, oh yeah, and he's all into it. And they get back, and Andy said, where was the cow prints at? Nobody stopped to think about that, but I guess that'd be one way you could steal an ox or something along that lines. But notice that restitution is already predetermined. It's already predetermined. If they take an ox, it's 5 back. If they take a sheep, it's 4 back. If they get caught with it, hey, they give double. Well, why would that matter? Well, it depends. Depends on if I was to be the owner and the restitution wasn't already preset by God, and you're the judge, and me and you's good buddies. And this guy that stole from me, I'd come up, hey, Brother Steve, you're a judge, and I was stolen from. Brother Steve, me and Brother Steve, we go way back. This guy, Steve's like, I don't know that guy. I know you. You see what could happen? It could happen really quick. And that's why God said, or Jethro said it. He said, Moses, pick out guys that are trustworthy. Guys that you're not going to be able to, because listen, we got so many judges, they're not trustworthy. They're not. It's constantly like, why wouldn't we want people that has broken the law to go to jail? I don't know. Judges don't want them to anymore. I don't understand what the big hiccup is with that, but it's a common practice nowadays. They call them liberal judges. We all heard about these liberal judges. They block things that you think, why would somebody let a child predator go free? It makes no sense to me and to you, but to them, let them do it 50 more times. Verse number 5, if a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast and shall feed in another man's field, or the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution. So now it's like, okay, so your cattle get out. That happens all the time in Kentucky. We used to go to church out Piney Grove Baptist Church number 1, and literally it was all the time cows coming across the road. And it's like, okay, I think I know whose cows these are. And I call them and say, hey, I think your cows are out. Oh, yeah. I mean, we've literally walked them back up through there and get them back to them. But, so the same is with this. So here's the thing, keep your animals up. Keep your animals up. Where we live, you're going to get a black, and I ain't got no problem with this, but you're going to get a black Chihuahua in the yard. You're going to get a Labradoodle in the yard. You're going to get, I don't know what he is, the other little one that hangs out with him. It's I don't know what the black dog's called, but it's Sonny, that's the big Labradoodle. And then Milton, that's the little, whatever he is, thing. And then you got the baby girl that's right across the street. White pit bull, can't hear, can't see. And she will stand in the middle of the road and bark at you. Yeah. I would just have to buy 500 pellets. But literally, they're just running around. And I'm like, I told my wife, I said, are we the only ones that keep our dogs, or at least try to keep our dogs in our yard? I mean, literally, it's like it's not that hard to do. Okay. You put a fence. Yeah. Interesting. But around here, we just expect, hey, if you want dogs, if you're going to put them in a kennel outside or put a fence up, we've got a fence and kennels. What about that? You do too. And we tried double protection. It's like everybody else is just like, whatever, coming over there and using the bathroom on your petunias and everything else. It's like, what in the world's going on around here? Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Listen, it only gets weirder the western of the Mississippi you get. Because eventually you're going to get to California and you're going to go, wow, this is really weird. Yeah. And honestly, rightfully so. I mean, if I'm going to own a dog and I'm just going to let it run free, I mean, it's free for the pickings. If somebody's like, hey, I don't want this dog. Why did you buy a dog to just let it run? Yeah. Yeah. But they ain't checking for it. Yeah. In that situation, I totally get it. I totally get it. It's you two are right there beside each other. There's really not, but when you come to my house, everybody's surrounding you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 Well, you think this Labradoodle, I kid you not, is like literally at the top of his head. It's like this tall. And that when we were just looking at the house, he jumped up in the car. And I was like, he's super friendly, but it's like, what is this dog doing in my vehicle? And I get out, and that woman across the street's like, I am so sorry. I ain't learned a lesson. He just goes out. Last night, he was out there running around. And I was like, don't come over here. Don't come over here. Time to go home. Just if you, I mean, it literally, what God is saying is, listen, be responsible. If you're going to have livestock, take care of it. If you're going to have sheep, take care of them. Just take it. You personally bought it. You're personally responsible for it. And if you're not responsible for it, because honestly, after some time, people start to get lax. They may start to, we bought, a kennel and fence, and we done all this, and then pretty soon that may start to slide. Well, I just, I don't feel like it's raining out there. Just get out of the house. Right? I mean, it can happen. And so God's saying, hey, it's your responsibility. And if it goes down and it starts eating in a field that's not yours, and it starts eating in a vineyard, guess what, buddy? You're going to have to take the best of what you have and give it to that person, because that's your responsibility. And the consequence is simply that. In verse 6, if fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. So if a guy's, I don't know, maybe he starts a fire and it's getting a little windy out, the guy that made the fire, and if it consumes his crops, the neighbor's crops, and if maybe the corn's standing, maybe the corn's been cut and it's stacked up. Maybe the field has just been plowed, and it's burned up what little bit of stuff is out there. Who knows? Whatever the case may be, the guy that kindled the fire, that started the fire, shall surely make restitution. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. So this, I don't know how much this would actually happen, because again, we're talking about people that they're farmers. Okay, farmers generally don't leave very far away from the house. Right. Especially people that are, like this. They're and look, they don't have no big cities to go to. They're not. It's not like we're going to go for the weekend and to Pigeon Forge. They were not like that. It was not like that in this time. It was literally you stayed and you lived off the land. You were off grid. That's a new thing that's come out. It's like, man, people have been living off grid for thousands of years. This is nothing new. So if a guy is to be like, hey, look, here's the deal. Can I leave some stuff here? I've got to go. I got a family member or something that is sick, and I'm going to go see him. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, just leave it here. Now, the guy that's like, yeah, sure, just leave it here, he better realize he's got responsibilities. This is not just like, it'd be like if you were to say, hey, I ain't got no room for this car. Do you care if I just leave it at your house? Yeah, sure. But just realize you said okay, That's your responsibility now. If your dog jumps up on it and scratches the paint up, that's your responsibility. If the neighbor's dog, because they don't want to get outside and they ain't got no fence like we were just talking about, and they scratch it up, it's your responsibility. So look at verse number 8. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he had put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. Okay, so the thief hasn't been found. The guy that let this guy watch his stuff for a little while till he got back. Hey, we've not found the thief. Oh, okay, so who's the guy that you let keep this stuff? Let's bring him in and let's question him. And listen, that you're like, wow, that's not fair. I don't know. There's a reason that people snoop. They're like, man, I didn't even see what he brought in that bag. I'm going to go check it out and see what it is. Kids are terrible for this. Don't go in my room. What does that mean? When you're not here, I'm going in your room, right? Keep it, double lock it, triple lock it, it don't matter. I'm getting in there. And so this guy's like the guy that said, yeah, I'll keep it for you. Now he's being hauled before the judges to figure out, hey, what's the story here? What's the deal? Verse 9. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. So again, it's the same thing. Hey, this happened, and the guy's like, no, this is what happened. That was my stuff. You ever hear, listen, I know somebody in my family that literally left a couple things, expensive things, sitting with another part of our family. And they said, hey, when I get this done at my house, I'm going to come and get that stuff. Yeah, that's fine. And it was about like 6-8 months later, and that was no longer yours. That's not yours. That's mine. You give that to me. Yeah, we're talking about like probably $600, $700, $800 worth of stuff. Yeah, and I was like, wow, why didn't you just take it? And he was like, it just wasn't worth it. I was like, okay. So there it is. Hey, no, that's my stuff. No, I just left it with you for a little while. And they say, well, we need to take this before the judges. And whatever the judges say, the judges will look at all the evidence and they'll say, okay, we have maybe eyewitnesses, maybe sworn testimonies to say, hey, I was there when he brought it over, and he said, this is just to be left for a little while. They look at everything and they say, here's what we've decided, and that's it. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's just a nice way of putting it. But verse 10, if a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep, and it die or be hurt or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. Okay, so let's put this into today's terms. Let's say that somebody borrowed your lawnmower. I don't know, your lawnmowers seem to always be tearing up, but somebody borrows your lawnmower, and they borrowed it, okay? And this guy's like, hey, what's the deal here? Well, where is my mower? Look at it. If a man deliver under his neighbor an ass or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it. Maybe it leaked oil, and you told them, and they locked the motor up in it. Who knows? Whatever the case may be. I asked you to keep it, and This is what's happened. You've locked the motor up in the mower. Verse 11. Then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor good. Hey, look, the motor locked up, and now for some reason it's not here. Well, where's it at? Well, I don't know. Somebody stole it. But I didn't have nothing to do with it. So now this guy has got to go before the judges and go before the Lord and say, I had nothing to do with any the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? That's where this actually comes from. It comes from those verses right there. So I had nothing to do with it. And here's the thing. This only works in a God-fearing society. It ain't going to work in today's society. I mean, literally, how many people, the glove did not fit? Are you kidding me? That glove fit perfect, OJ. Right? I mean, seriously, it's like, come on. I mean, people lie, and it doesn't matter if they got two hands on the Bible. How many presidents have we had sworn in office saying, putting their hand on the Bible and saying that they were going to protect this country at all costs? And a lot of them sold it out. And I'm not here to talk about presidents. I'm not saying that, because actually in this chapter it talks about, hey, don't revile the gods. And what he means by that is, the people in government offices. But I am saying that let's just call a spade, right? Let's just call a spade. I'm not talking about the office. I'm talking about the person that has taken the office. A lot of them sold it out to China and other places. But it says there in verse number 12, and if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. So, so an animal, a beast, tears it to pieces, kind of like Joseph. He's torn to pieces. And God says, okay, so if that's the case, bring the pieces and let's see. And let's make sure, let's identify the animal. He could say, yeah, that was the color of the animal. Yeah, that okay. And he said, okay, then you're free and clear to go. This is what happened. It's just things. It's life, man. You don't owe him nothing. He don't owe you nothing. Verse 14, if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. So there you go. If you borrow something from somebody and you tear it up, whatever the case may be, it gets hurt, it dies, whatever. The guy and the owner of the thing so you borrowed it. The owner is not with it. Well, he owes you for whatever he borrowed. Verse 15, but if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good if it be an hired thing, if it came for his hire. So if I was to say, Brother Gary, can I borrow your car? And you were to say, yeah, for how long? A day. I need to run some errands. My car's messed up. Yeah, I'll charge you $50, charge you $100, whatever. Okay. So now, if Gary takes the money and rides with me, I'm free and clear. If something tears up, I can look at Gary and say, that tire, just shredded, come apart. You were riding with me. This is not on me, right? So I'm free and clear of what has taken place. Now, on the other side of that coin, let me say this. If we were to borrow something from somebody, if I was to borrow your car and you said, you know what, just take it. I'm not driving it right now. Just use it for the day, whatever you need to do. Just bring it back with, whatever, however much gas is in it. Me personally, I'm not doing him like I would Enterprise. I'm going to fill the tank back up. Okay? Enterprise says bring it back quarter tank. That thing is going to be pegged on a quarter tank because they've already ripped me off about 10 times renting a vehicle. But if Gary was to say, hey, just bring it back with a quarter tank in it, that's what's in it now. I'd bring it back and it'd be full. That's good Christian practice, is that we treat it as if it's not ours, because it's not ours. Huh? No. No, right now my car is running. But that's the thing is, as I was talking to my barber one time, he's like, I remember Dad borrowed the mower from the neighbor, and he said, Dad brought it over there, and he said, man, that thing come over and it was dirty. And he said, Dad, whenever we got done mowing with it, he said we took the blades off, sharpened the blades, cleaned out from underneath the deck, washed the whole thing off, filled it up with gas. I can't remember for sure or not if he said he changed the oil in it, but that's how we ought to be. That's how we ought to be as a people, is just, somebody is being nice enough. We don't have any stake in the game. But if somebody is willing to be nice enough to let us use their stuff, be nice enough to don't be like you get somebody that's a tradesman in church, and people will just use them to death. They will use them to death. Not just at the church, but they'll use the congregation, be like, hey, you're an electrician, come over here and check this out, and then never offer them any money for their time. That is not right. That's not right. And God's saying, listen, if they borrow it, man, make it good. If you rent it, you're free and clear. You can do whatever you want to, but you're free and clear. Verse 16, if a man, and now this is where it gets a little weird. Not really weird, but it's kind of difficult to talk about. But verse 16, if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. So if this guy is like, man, I really am attracted to that woman. And so he starts enticing her, starts speaking in her ear, whispering in her ear. And she's like, okay. So now the game is they've you know what I mean. Trying to keep this as G-rated as possible. But they've lied with each other, okay? And now, because that's happened, now, buddy, you got to take her to be your wife. But what if Dad says no? Dad's still got the right to refusal. Look at the next verse. Look at verse 17. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Here's the thing. If Dad was okay with it, he'd had to pay. If Dad's not okay with it, you still got to pay. Why? Because you've taken something from her that she cannot get back. And that, listen, can I say that? I think we need to get back to that. In this nation, especially in this nation, I don't live anywhere else, I live here, but we need to get back to this practice of this is a serious matter. Listen, if it's that serious with God, it ought to be that serious with us. Right? And he says in verse 18, watch this, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Oh, man. Listen, and here's the thing. People, Salem witch trials, I guarantee you that's where they took that from. What is it talking about? It's not talking around, like Salem witch trials, they literally would be like, that woman's a witch, and then she'd go on trial. It's like, there's no evidence, no proof. I heard something a while back. It was on one of those Salem witch trial shows. It was like a documentary. And this guy's like, yeah, I come out of the bar. He had been drinking. I come out of the bar and she looked like, her head looked like a hog. I'm sure after 15, she probably did have a head like a hog on her. But really? And then they take her and they burn her at the stake because of what that drunk guy said. What about that? What is this talking about? Well, it's literally talking about a witch. Well, what's a witch? Well, as you go through the Bible and you look at that word sorcery or sorceress, any of that, literally these people would take drugs or take mind-altering substances, and they would try to connect with evil spirits. They would, or just recreational. But the Bible labels them as a witch. It's pretty crazy. Solomon said it best. There's nothing new under the sun. We're dealing with this even yet today. Even yet today. And the Bible is so relevant to what's happening still to this day. But look at verse number 19. Speaking of relevance, and you're going to be like, man, that is so weird. There's these people out there. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. You say, there's people out there and not just lying. They have a term for it, bestiality. Folks, God says, that ain't right. That ain't right. And they need to be put to death too. Witches, put them to death. Whoremongers, I would throw them in there with that too. Put them to death. Verse 20, he that sacrificeth unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. God takes worship very seriously. I'm thankful that we're not under the law anymore, but I will say this, I'm thankful that God has not changed and God still means what he said. He says that, look, and here's the thing, if you worship any other god, you will be destroyed. Verse 21, thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Don't treat other people, strangers to your land, what will be your land. Be hospitable to them. Hospitality, that's the New Testament word that is based off of that verse right there. Verse 22, you shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. James talked about that. That's pure religion, is to visit the widows and their fatherless in their afflictions. Why? Because they are the lowest class of people, but God has such a heart for them. He's like, look, they don't need your rough way to go. They've already got a rough way to go. And so God has put in, and listen, this is sowing and reaping. He says, don't afflict them any worse than what they're already afflicted, because if you afflict them, I'm going to hear their cry. I'm going to afflict you. I'll turn your wife into a widower. And I'll turn your children into a fatherless child. I'll take you out. How? By the edge of the sword. Well, how does that happen? I don't know, David. Tell us how it happened with Uriah. So I'll put you in a hot battle, and I'll take you out. That's literally what it means. Some people would say, well, the sword being the double-edged sword, the word out of his mouth. If that was the case, it would have been capitalized. I don't believe that it to be the word of his mouth. But I will say this, you can take his word on it, he'll kill you. He'll have you killed for it. Verse 25, if thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. So, what is he saying? He's saying, don't cash express people that are literally at the bottom of the pay grade. The people that work for minimum wage. And listen, I get it. They see all these signs, cash express, we'll cash your check 2 days ahead. You need money now, come get money now. But you never get it paid off. The interest is just ridiculous. And God's saying, don't take advantage of people that already can't help what's going on in their life. He says in verse 26, if thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, so if this guy's like, look, this is the only thing that I have that I can give you is like, I'm going to be good for, what you've given me, the money that you've given me. The only thing that I have is, I don't have a car title. All I got is this coat. And literally the guy is that poor. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him, by that the sun goeth down. Why? Because that could be the only thing that's keeping this guy warm. You know, it's okay to take it and say, okay, I'll hold on to it. But listen, if it's going to be cold at night, go and give it back to him so he can use it to stay warm. Verse 27, for that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me that I will hear, for I am gracious. He should be getting grace from you, but he's going to have to get it from me because you're being a jerk and you're holding on to the only thing he's got to keep him warm. He says, he cries unto me. He said, I'll hear him. I'll be gracious unto him. Verse 28, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Why? Because it could be so easy to look at these men that are the judges and say, I'm not listening to you. You're nobody. But what is that? What is those judgments? I mean, people do it today. I'm not listening to you, judge. They just no morals, no respect for authority, nothing. If people get pulled over, I'm sure Larry could tell us plenty of stories about people getting pulled over and then being like just disorderly for no reason. And people just don't respect authority anymore. I mean, literally, they think it's a game to get thrown in jail. That's not a game. Verse 29, thou shalt not delay. I'll ask you, we got 3 more verses. I'll ask at the end if you got anything. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors, for the firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam or his mother on the 8th day. On the 8th day thou shalt give it to me, and ye shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall you eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. You shall cast it to the dogs. What is God saying? God's saying, listen, I have done all that I've done for you. I want the first fruits. It's because of me that you're blessed. Give unto me what is rightfully mine. That is not him saying, you get to keep the rest of the 90 and do whatever you want to with it. He's saying, I want the very best. You give it to me. Don't, without delay. You give that to me first. And listen, here's what we'll do. You give that to me, and we'll stretch that other 90. I've noticed that. And I've talked with people about this. They say, you know, it's so tough right now to give. Yeah, but if you stop, man, it just seems like it's so tough to make what you have stretch. You know, trying to make 2 ends meet, and it's like, it's difficult. But if you give, it's like God works all that out. It's amazing. I think that's like Bible principle right there. And why? Why all this? What is the purpose for all this? Well, the purpose for all this is guys, I've made you a peculiar people. You're a peculiar nation. You're set apart. You're like nobody else in the world. At this time, you're like nobody else in the world right now. You are my people. And look at what he says there in verse 31. And ye shall be holy men unto me. I don't want you to be like everybody else. Neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. Don't eat like everybody else eats. I am going to take care of you. Don't act like, you know, God's not here to provide. I'm here to provide. But I want you to be holy people unto me. Listen, he still says that today for us. Peter, twice, goes right back to this. Paul goes right back to this. Jude goes right back to this. I think even James goes right back to this. Be a holy people. Be a holy people. And just be set apart for God. Anybody got anything? Holy doesn't mean quiet. All right. Well, we went almost 10 minutes.